This episode of the Rainbow Umbrella is brought to you by Life Matters. Visit lifematters.org.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to the Rainbow Umbrella, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything under the rainbow. And for this month's episode, I am joined by some fabulous pole artists from Pole with Val in Ōtepoti, Dunedin. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's very exciting. Just so we can orient ourselves with who we're talking to, could I just get you all to go around the room, say who you are, what your name is, and how long you've been doing pole?
Sure. I'm Jen. You may recognise me from previous episodes such as Serial Killers and What's Under the Water.
Yeah.
But I've been polling for about 7 years now.
Nice. Thanks, Jen.
I'm Jacob. I've been polling for coming up on 3 years now.
Nice. Thanks, Jacob.
I'm Roxy. I am the owner of the studio and I have been polling for 13 years now.
13, wow.
Kia ora, I'm Jonica and I have been polling for 4 years and dancing for all my life.
Nice, nice. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks again so much for being here. It's awesome to have a chance to have a chat with you, and I really like the fact that we have like a diverse time of polling. So we've got old hands and newbies as well. I count myself into that because I've now taken one class. Yeah, it was great. Couldn't use my arms properly.
How sore were you?
I was very sore. It took about 2 days for me to regain the use of my arms properly. So your girl needs to go back to the gym.
That driving afterwards on that next day, that's hard.
Yeah. It was just generally lifting stuff. I was like, I didn't realise I was that weak. Okay.
Pretty standard early
Humbling.
pole experience.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I think the most interesting thing was being afraid of spinning around. I'm like, I used to do this all the time as kids. Like, why as a grown woman is it scary? It's like, oh no, you're trusting this thing.
10 centimetres off the ground.
I think it is really unnatural to fling yourself at a really solid stationary object.
That's true.
It's a bit of a mental hurdle to get over.
Yeah, that pink pole that you guys have got in the studio, that was amazing because when you said, hey, make this shape, I was like, a stationary pole can't do it. On the pink pole, I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that one grabs you back.
Yeah.
Holds on to you as well.
Got some tack.
Silicone gripped one.
Yeah, no, it was lots of fun and very much looking forward to my next class and, again, losing the ability to use my arms.
It's never as bad the second time.
It gets
Promise.
better.
Yeah. I'm sure it's just one of those things I need to do it more, I guess.
Just wait until you need your core.
I'm excited.
Wait until you try a teddy.
Which one's that one?
It's an armpit hold where you sit like a teddy, so both arms forward, both legs lifted and forward. And
Okay.
only holding on with your armpit. It tends to kill 99% of people. He's going to give you a wee demonstration.
Wow.
Yeah, literally kills 99% of people.
Yeah, wow.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Very painful.
It's a good hurdle
Unless
to
you're
get
Roxy.
over, though.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that, I've seen pole artists and performers plenty of times, and I think one of the most impressive things is not just doing what you're doing, but making it look effortless. Because you watch, you're like, I'm probably not that strong, but I could give that a go. You try and do it, you're like, oh no, no, I cannot do that.
They look featherweight when they do it.
Yes.
Jacob knows all about that.
I went to the Femme Burlesque show on the weekend, and one of the performers had a pole for their performance, and I was just like, how are you doing what you're doing, kind of dressed like a scorpion? Are you a wizard? It was just amazing.
And that would have been that would have been a stage pole, so I wouldn't have had a top anchor. Yeah,
Correct.
so they have the extra excitement of a little bit of wiggle. Just some extra.
Was
You
it
get
for
used
some
to it,
fun?
but it's different
Yeah.
to when it's screwed into the roof.
Yeah. Even that first pole that you put me on, I was like, it wiggles a little bit. I was like, I can see that it's screwed into the ceiling, but it moves a bit. Is this okay?
Yeah, so in the studio we have a couple of different types of poles. So we have some that are static, some that are rotating. The static ones that are generally shorter are one pole. Our rotating ones can obviously be made static, and the way X-Pole makes that is they're joints within a second shell. So it's actually a pole that rotates over a pole and screws that lock each other into place. So hence the movement you feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's an ever evolving sport, and we have a new one where it's one pole that can be spun and not spun.
Ah, cool.
That causes a lot less problems.
Yeah. I like how you said that, ever-evolving sport, because immediately I thought, I was like, yeah, it's a place where you can work on your fitness and your trust issues, because you've got to trust this thing is going to look after you.
I
right?
trust Roxy with my life. She has fireman. She has fireman carried me off the pole like a bride over the threshold.
Yeah, we've all been carried like a baby at Roxy.
I've gone, ouch, this hurts, I'm done. And Roxy goes, I've come to save you, damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
amazing.
it's also a place where some of the smallest people are the people you can trust as well, because you're like, you look small, but you can hold my weight. You're so tank.
Yeah.
Like trusting Val, I'm just like, but you're so tiny.
Yeah.
But she's strong.
And I think that's one of the most amazing things about it. Like the one class I've been to, the diversity of people was incredible. I was like, you're all so strong. This is amazing. Some of you are, 6 foot. Some of you are like me, 4'11". It's awesome. Yeah, I'm really little. Yeah.
I thought I was short and I'm 5'4".
You can actually be a hobbit.
I could.
Yeah.
I missed my chance.
You did. 20
did.
years.
I'm also 3 centimetres away from legally needing a booster seat in the car, but here we are.
I was going to say.
You do know that from 30 you start shrinking, right? So in about 10 years you could theoretically need a booster.
Yeah.
At that point, you can say it's back support, though. Like,
Yeah. It's not a height thing. It's I've got a bad back.
yeah.
For sure.
100%.
So why pole? What got you into pole?
For me, it was a deer.
Okay.
Like Jonica, I've done dancing all my life. I showed up to a hip hop class and a girl had bruises for miles. And I was like, oh, they look like rugby bruises. That's what I'm used to. Like, who do you play for? And she's like, actually, the pole. I was like, what do you mean pole? What is this thing? And she's like, I dare you to come give class a go, see if you can hack it. So I did. 13 years later, here I am with my own studio.
Yeah. Wow.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
If you can push through the pain, the achievement feeling at the end of it it's adrenaline, like it's that big dopamine feed. And there's always somewhere to go, no matter how strong you get, no matter how flexible you get, there's always that next challenge that's coming out, that next combination that's coming out, that next flip to try. And then teaching adds a whole another side to that. So it's just, it's a challenge always. And it's one sport that I've always been able to grow with further and never really been stuck where I'm like, where am I going with this? So that's how I started. And then
I think it's also just going on that is being able to see actual improvement every class you go to. Whereas like sometimes you go to the gym and you lift weights and sometimes you can't actually notice if you're gaining strength, but you will go to pole week after week and you'll be like each time achieving something more.
You can tick off a new move or something. Yeah. Like, it's the only form of exercise that I've stuck with longer than, by choice, longer than 6 months. Like, and it's that dopamine thing. I mean, I have ADHD, so dopamine is my favourite thing in the whole world. And that's probably a big thing why I keep coming back. Love it. Love the improvement. I love the atmosphere. I love that any body can do it.
I love the sense of achievement my students get. I watch some pretty inconfident, broken women come along, and men, not trusting their bodies, not sure what their body's actually capable of, and then watching them unlock this new power within themselves and just seeing how far they can take that is amazing. I've got students that I started teaching when they were beginners that were scared of spinning just like you, who are now teaching over in Miss Philly and competing in Miss New Zealand this weekend and competing in, Miss Victoria and winning these competitions. And there's so much you can do with it, and seeing that as a teacher as well was another big feed, like watching them come in and struggle with who they are in themselves and having that confidence to then go take it to a stage and take it to the world is tremendously rewarding for me.
Yeah.
I scream and shout every class when people get it. I'm the biggest cheerleader.
You go, Jacob.
Sorry. The trust you build in yourself as well is like so valuable, and like learning to trust other people with your body to like Roxy. You know?
It's the first time I've done a sport and wanted to get better to achieve something new or level up instead of wanting to get better to be prettier or hotter or fitter or like it's the first time I've encountered a space fitness related that has been the motivation to keep going.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important distinction to make because whilst there is an element of, once you've mastered a move, you want to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
But the core is it's for fitness, right? Now, my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that there are different types of pole dancing. Like, obviously, there's the sexy display pole dancing.
Yep.
There's for fitness. Is there anything else?
So there's actually like a cardio pole that's used, and there's like a water pole for fitness. So lower intensity on the body, but same kind of thing. So you actually have a stage pole, like you saw it on the weekend, in a pool. And
Oh, wow,
they
okay.
do that for a lot of rehab around the world. Yeah.
Flying pole, circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flying pole.
Okay.
Spins from the roof, so it's not attached to the bottom.
Yeah, I've seen that at the circus, I think.
Yeah,
Wild.
that's become pretty massive.
Ooh, and
Yeah.
those freaky like corkscrew.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
And Chinese pole as well, which is rubber, and that's flipping from the ground onto the pole.
Yeah.
Which is actually where pole dancing originated from in the get go. So there's heaps of different styles. Cardio pole is very. It's like the new HIIT training.
I immediately got scared of that cardio pole. I was like,
But you start, every level starts somewhere. So
yeah.
it's that next level of wanting to push the fitness side. So if you want to be fit, there's HIIT training. So it's 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off of pole-related cardio. And it's actually how I rehabbed my ACL tear.
Right.
Yeah. So Val actually designed her whole cardio pole workout program scheme to rehab my left knee so that I could avoid ACL surgery. And I got ticked off by 2 surgeons. So
Wow.
I'm still poling, still dancing,
Yep.
even after having kids.
Well, there you go. Bowling is witchcraft.
Yeah. It's definitely
Definitely levitate.
that sport that no matter what, everything that you put in, you will get out every single class, like
Yeah.
Jen said. If you keep trying, keep going, there's always a way to make your body understand. It's very good at making you feel uncoordinated at first.
Oh yeah.
It makes you question whether you know your left and rights. Very much so, especially if you're upside down.
I was about to say. But also you're up and down. You're like, put your hand up. And if you're upside down, you're like,
Which way's up?
which way? Which up?
Oh, wow, yeah.
But I think it also helps you connect with your body a lot more and activate muscles that you don't normally think about using, so that you use your body in daily life better because you start using smaller muscles. So I noticed, like I used to have a lot of shoulder and neck problems. Since I've started doing my shoulder mounts, my shoulder flips, my neck muscles have gotten a lot stronger, and I've had a lot less migraines and headaches.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm using the smaller muscles a lot more rather than relying on just the bigger muscles and getting really tight. So it kind of makes you connect with every part of your body a lot more, because you have to use every part of your body. You're using your hands, your legs, your core, your butt, your head all at once, right? It's not, you can't just leave yourself behind.
Yeah.
Mind-muscle connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to develop and
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually notice.
How do I
every day.
control this while dropping this way and getting to that place? And,
Yeah.
you can do some pretty incredible things.
For sure. I mean, I had to admit in class the other week was watching people as well. Like when I was taking a wee break from practicing, I was like, look at you guys go. Just like, I know, don't want to stare, but I was like, how are you doing it? Yeah.
Oh, I'm always staring in classes. Like,
Yeah, I'm always staring at you.
Everybody's like, Jacob, you're so cool. I want to be just like you when I grow up. And when I say grow up, I mean in height.
If you figure out how to do that, can you let me know, please?
Yeah.
Because
We're trying to like import this Chinese stretching machine.
Okay,
I
yeah,
still
hook
can
me
get
up.
those freaky shin extensions.
God, no, I'm alright, eh? Want to get taller without surgery, thanks.
You are perfect just the way you are, Mel.
Oh, thanks, Jean.
3 centimetres off a booster seat.
Yeah, perfectly 3
It could be
centimetres.
worse. It could be worse. It could be 1 centimetre.
It could be. I could also be a child.
You could also be a child.
I'm not a child anymore, even though a nap would be good. Anyway, we've digressed. So, what is the most difficult pole move? Is that what you call it? Pole move, pole position that you've mastered to date, and the one that you're most proud of? I think I know what Jen's is going to be.
I got my iron cross on Monday,
Hell yeah.
and I'm actually able to hold it for a split second. But the impressive thing with the iron cross, so for all you people listening, it's basically a human flag, but we call it an iron cross, and we look like a cross, obviously. Google it. But it's not even just getting into that position where you're holding a plank. It's the fact that you have to hold that plank from the pole all the way down. So all of the energy is actually being used getting to the cross and being able to just hold it so slowly. But yeah, the iron cross is one that ever since I started, I was like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. But I got it this week.
Yeah. Awesome.
And that's freaking awesome.
Well done.
Yeah.
What about you, Jacob?
It's pretty hard to choose, but one of my favourite ones is a kōrero. So you're like, you might have to Google this one too. But
Yeah.
You're kind of like,
We can put a series of pictures on the
you're
Instagram.
resting
so-
on your,
Like
you've got your ass on your elbow and you're kind of like horizontal to the ground and you're just,
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
backwards.
Sideways back bended over your elbow.
yeah.
Oh, I believe Jenna's Googling.
Yeah. And
Is it that one?
yes, that
Yeah.
is kōrero.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it looks skewered, but it's
Can we
actually
try
quite
that next week?
comfortable.
Should we give it a go next week?
You have to go to a different class because I can't catch you if you fall off that one.
And if anyone's going to fall and hurt themselves, it'll be me. So
I
that's
also can't do that, so I'm not going to tell you how.
that's probably a good shout not to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, don't do it.
We'll work on cheer first. How about that?
Can't wait.
Hey, that's at 6 o'clock tonight if you want to come. Mine would probably have to be super pain.
Oh yeah.
Super pain is this really fun.
I don't know about fun.
So you're in a Superman, which is a thigh hold plank, and essentially you reach over your head and crisscross your legs around the pole. So bring them to your head.
Whoa.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
That's on
So-
the list.
it sucks.
You essentially just holding on with your butt? Or
With your inner thigh.
Inner thigh?
Thighs.
And you pray to God you don't let go of that foot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Because we're woof.
So we've gotten very good at drops out of that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a position like that? Would you practice dropping out of it before you?
Yes.
Because you'd have to, yeah.
Yeah, so it's what's called a dove drop.
Yeah.
So you go forwards and tuck around the pole and into an outside leg hang, which is just a knee hang. And that's kind of how you catch yourself. And we practice that a lot before we go any further.
And the great thing with a lot of these moves is it's like learning it in stages. Like there are moves that lead up to each one. So like before you do that, you have to be confident in a Superman, and then like you just you work.
But in no means does it make learning the next one any easier.
No.
That would be too
No. But it's
To
also
it, yeah.
there's also so many moves that like if you can trust in your body and that you know how to control where you're at, then it's a lot easier to trust and do those moves. Yeah.
For sure. And what about you, Jonica?
My most proud of is different to my favourite.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually most proud of last week I did an inverted D. I was a little bit on the ground. That is something that I should have been able to do probably quite a while ago. That's why I'm most proud of that, because it's taken me a long time to get to that spot. So it's like a big sense of achievement that I actually sort of held on for half a second. But probably one of my faves to do that makes everyone go, oh, is like a Remy layback.
Oh, we've got some faces.
It's bone
It seems
crushing.
to hurt everyone else,
It's
but
bone crushing.
I think my anatomy just is kind to the move.
A lot of your weight is on the top of your foot.
And then
See,
you're
but I don't
folding
like a
yourself
Russian
backwards.
layback.
And you're
I
falling
think I
back.
hit most of it in my knee
backwards.
pit.
So your shin and the top of your foot are physically being squashed between you and the pole
Yeah.
while bent backwards.
Yeah.
And it just crushes.
Wow.
Actually, in saying that, so Christine
Loves
It was in my class.
loves it.
I was like, oh,
She was
you can
telling
do a
me the
really
other
sit.
day.
And she popped it first go, and I was like, oh, and when you go up levels, you can do it into a layback, like, you know, like you lean back and
Yeah.
she's like, oh, like this. Excuse me?
Yeah, she was like, she was telling me about it, and I'm just like, oh.
Now, Val has been polling longer than I have. Val has been polling for 15, coming up 16 years. And both her and I won't touch this move. We learnt it, ticked it off, never looked back.
Wow, okay. Wow. I would like to
I'll show it
request
to
a
somebody,
demonstration
but I won't
next
be happy
week.
about it.
Yeah.
I think it's because I got a bit extra squishy bits to help
Squishy
cushion
bits
the
out works
brain.
with feet.
But it doesn't, it's more in my, for me. I don't know, maybe I just am a bit of a weirdo. That's fine.
It's also a Frodo though. Like Frodo, all of the pain, all of the pole is in your lower stomach, and it's just the
I don't
ickiest.
mind Frodo.
All good for me.
You guys are all freaks.
Why is it called Frodo?
You're kind of like a frog on the side of the pole.
But Frodo's a hobbit.
Yeah.
Is it Frodo or Fredo?
No, it's
No,
Frodo.
it's a Frodo.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a
Don't.
lot of
I
Aussie
mean,
names,
I mean, a
but
lot of the.
there is one called Marion Amber, which I love. Just the name is so sassy.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just the polar who invented its name.
Right, okay. Okay.
Some of the spins like that as you'll go through and you learn,
Some of them are intuitive.
like a martini, like looks like the side of a martini glass. You've got
Oh,
a straight
yeah.
leg and then a bent leg and then a
I
you know.
saw real life martinis last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks super
There's a
elegant.
might have even done one.
Marion Amber.
No, I didn't do one of those. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
That's a Frodo.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's very weird.
I'm really loving this. Like, look, this is fun.
You gotta
helps.
see it to
Yeah. Quite often, students need a visual guide. Mm-hmm. So seeing a picture of like what it's supposed to look like may not help them when they try it,
Yeah.
but they kind of have that sense of where am I going with this?
Yeah.
move?
Yeah.
So one thing that we're kind of trying to put together for our website at the moment is like a pole dictionary.
Oh, cool.
So linked with our syllabus. So Jacob stars in a lot of these photos.
I didn't realise I was interviewing a celebrity today.
Neither did I.
Amazing.
You tipped the waiver for photo release.
Twice. When you
Yeah.
sign up and when you sign onto the website.
That's great as well because the amount of like pole names and you're just like, what is that?
And sometimes they're different between studios
Yes,
too.
yes. I still get confused between the Scorpio and Gemini because it's opposite down here than it was up in Hamilton.
Right.
So I've just resorted to the inside outside leg hang because I'm like I can't because I don't know which
Wow.
one is which.
Yeah.
And like a martini, the teacup I learnt as a martini.
Yeah.
And it's
There's lots of them.
That's too confusing.
Yeah, it's very hard as an instructor when you have a visiting
Yes.
student. And they're like, oh, I know this move. And I'm like,
Is that right,
what are you
Ollie?
talking about?
And they do it and you're like, oh.
We call that this.
Yeah.
So you're at like this level. So let's go from there.
Yeah.
Has our extra special guest got some opinions as well?
Yes, he would like to say that his bottle and his Mandarin are very good.
Are they good?
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look pretty chuffed. Good job, we did.
You love pole as well, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you start polling, Ollie?
I think I have one of him before he was walking, but he was pulling himself up on furniture.
Oh.
And he pulled up and he was shaking his little butt in the class, and everyone in class was going, "Go Ollie, go Ollie!" It's to Beyonce. It's just like his
Amazing.
mama.
I had a few of those.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids who come in and are at the studio because it's a very like kid and animal friendly space, and just watching some of them just go up the pole, no fear,
Wouldn't
no
it be great
fear,
to be able to do it and just have no fear?
no fear.
My 4-year-old Ariel inverts. She climbs off a stool and then inverts on a spinning pole in pants.
Yeah.
Like she's not
like
gonna
a
plumb into her
little
deep.
freak.
I'm just thinking about it, like playing on the monkey bars at primary school. I'm like,
would've
that was
loved
easy.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you get to a certain age and you're like, oh no, I can't do that again.
Yeah, I haven't reached that age.
No? Okay.
Some of us don't grow up.
Yeah. You guys are still young. There's time.
Okay, 32.
You're just a baby.
I'm pretty broken. I've thrown myself into things a little too quickly sometimes.
Yeah.
But I've only ever had one pole injury in my life.
Yeah.
The rest of it's netball.
Okay. So there
truly
you go.
vicious
Pole's
sport.
safer than netball.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You can only hurt yourself in pole.
Yeah.
Everyone else is out to get you at netball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
pole leads onto so much more as well. Silks, rope, lyra, they're all very similar body shapes, like core moves and everything. So it really takes, we've had quite a few people move on to like circus in general.
Cool.
And learn hoop, like hula hoop, lyra, rope, silks. Yeah, they complement each other very well in developing skills. So it's quite nice once you try one, how much that opens up to the rest of the sport. Yeah. And acro.
Yeah. And also other sports. Going back to your first question about what got us into pole. So I started off as an MMA fighter and I got into pole to build strength so that I could wrestle better.
Yeah. Wow.
And then after a while I realized that I enjoyed pole so much more.
Okay.
And so I decided to choose and go fully into pole. But like the strength I did MMA for 5 years and I really struggled to build strength. But then I went to pole and it just it happened so quickly that I was it's
Wow.
impressive
Yeah.
how quickly you build that strength.
Wow.
Yeah. If you stick to it.
So I might be able to do 4 seconds instead of 3 seconds next week.
100%. Yes. 100%. 100%.
That's that little snippet of achievement that'll keep you coming back.
Yeah.
Well, I have to admit, this is a safe space for confession. When you put the sheet out with, ticking everything off, I was like, I know it's my first class, but why haven't you ticked anything off yet? Why don't I have a tick?
I'd like some little gold stars, actually.
So you're lucky.
A lot of people are very tick motivated.
They are.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing more like thrilling at the end of class than we like, are you taking stuff off? Can I show you this? Can I show you this?
Yeah.
Or the Roxy scream across the class.
Look at me before.
I mean, it's one of the thrills I feel when I come to a different class because I've spent all of my classes with Val, who does not tick off very often. Until recently, she barely looked at her syllabus because obviously it was her syllabus, and she's just like she taught me what she wanted, so I rarely got ticks.
Welcome to the tick club.
That is my goal. My first tick.
Your first tick?
My first tick.
I'm sure you would have got a learned tick. It's not a not a done tick.
No, I didn't even get one tick.
I didn't even take
Didn't
you
even get
once.
one
What a
tick.
shoddy instructor. Sorry, you should have got one for showing up.
Well, then does that mean I get 2 next week?
Yeah, I'll give you double
made
ticks
it.
next week. Sorry.
Cool, I'm in.
Oh, that's funny.
So funny. Do better, Jonica.
You're outing me in front of the boss.
No, you were a wonderful instructor.
Oh, thanks.
You were very patient with my nonsense, and you warmed us up with a pigeon, which is my favourite yoga pose. So that's where you had me. I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm real good at warm-ups, so Roxy.
Didn't enjoy the press up so much, but that's a personal thing. But
Don't
then you
come to
threw in
my
the
class.
pigeon. I think it'll probably be a while before I get.
When you're
Jonica dies in my warm-ups. Pretty much my whole class does.
Yeah, that's pretty vicious. But it's good.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I'm
what you
getting
need
better
to sort
though.
of
It
keep
definitely
you
makes a difference.
yeah, it's obviously important as well because I remember the last thing you said as we were leaving was, "Don't forget to stretch tonight too."
Yeah,
Of course,
you
I
didn't.
didn't stretch, and I was like, "Yeah, that's why I'm sore." So, yeah, I will remember that for next time.
Quite often I have come into a pole class and been like, oh, I'll just jump straight on the pole and not warmed up properly and hurt myself, like muscle-wise, a lot more because I'm like, oh, I should have just warmed up because I've started cold,
Yeah.
you know, and it just takes that little bit longer to be like, oh, I can get out of bed not in pain today. So I'm trying to put out this message of warm up, it's good for you. Trust me, learn from my mistakes
Yeah.
to everybody. So we
Yep.
get very warm now, which is good. We've had no injuries and everybody's noticed the change in their strength quite a bit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, watching students come from your classes into vowels, and then I'm just like, oh, you guys are so much better than I am.
Speaking of that, celebrities-wise, Jacob is going to be the first student that completes every single syllabus
Oh my
from
god.
start to finish.
Well done.
He's got
Thank you.
2 moves to learn.
Wow.
He got his one-handed shoulder mount last night. So
Really scary. But pushing past that fear is
Yeah.
a mean achievement in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
Very cool.
succeeding in it, knowing, hey, I can trust my body to do this. You know, I've worked this hard. I've done the mahi. Now I'm getting the treat because, like, I did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like
And
knowing
on
enough
both
how
sides.
to save myself.
Yeah.
and
So-
on both sides.
That's awesome.
So your advanced exam is coming up soon then?
Well, he's got to do intermediate
Oh,
first
you haven't done...
because he only just did beginners last lot.
Oh, yeah.
my
Okay, no,
goodness.
Because he was,
That is speedy progress.
Yeah.
It is.
well, his shoulder was injured the last
Yeah.
time.
That's
Yeah.
fair. It's probably one of my biggest proud moments is doing that advanced exam.
It was sick.
It was hard.
I remember when you were going to sit that actually.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I got to judge that. So
Nice. Well, that's something to look forward to then. Ticks and exams.
Yeah.
And the exams aren't compulsory because
Nah.
we know that some people do it for fun. Some
Yeah.
people like that sense of achievement. Some people are comfortable with it. Some people grow to be comfortable with it. So
Yeah.
they're put out as an option every year.
Yeah.
We've just kind of changed our syllabus and broken it down a bit more into the 6 levels as you would have seen. So the exam routines will look a little bit different, but hopefully making it a little bit less daunting for people that aren't super keen on doing exams. I think with every exam level comes different criteria, and when people
Yeah.
see that criteria, they're like, oh, I can't do that. When you as an instructor know that they full well can, but it's that they have to have that mental push to do it themselves. You can only
Yeah.
push them so far.
For sure. It's given me flashbacks to dance exams.
Exactly,
I'm
right?
like, oh.
You've got that criteria, you've got all
Yeah.
those things, and you have to come up with your own piece, and it's like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
that stress, right? So the way we've done it now, just like your umbrella sweatshirt, is
Yeah.
we have 6 levels from red to purple.
Yeah.
Colours of the flame, so that you work from low heat to hottest heat, so you go from beginner to advanced to get super hot. And each level will have their own exam for what's on that sheet rather than making it just beginners, intermediate,
Yeah.
advanced, because you get to advanced and like pole isn't ever growing sport. So sitting there being like, oh, I've learnt this move and this move and this move and this, where does this fall on my syllabus and where does that fall on my syllabus? And then there's so much thrown at you to put in this 7-minute exam, and it's like 7 minutes is a long time to be on a pole.
Long time.
And then a minute and a half of that is not touching the ground, you know? So it's exhausting for anybody.
Which is why cardio pole really good.
Yeah, really
Build
helps
up
with
that
the fitness.
Yeah, because like pole is great until you're like, oh, I have to actually pole for more than a minute, and it's so hard.
Low classes are great for that too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, actually learn how to put it together. Get a little bit sexy. It's just
Yeah.
a good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and heaps of different styles, so you get to kind of mix it all around. But it builds that fitness too, you know?
Yeah.
Because by the end of,
kicked my ass. It's such a workout.
you know, in 3.5 minutes of Britney Spears at a high-paced environment with heels on, you know, 7,
Yeah.
8-inch heels, it adds a whole new level of fitness.
For
So,
sure.
Yeah.
you know, 3.5 minutes of cardio and that,
I-
and you're doing that for an hour over and over and over and over again.
I'm already
I can
tired.
still say that doing a 5K run is still much easier than poling for 5 minutes.
Agreed.
Okay.
It's like doing burpees for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's up, down, while doing
Yeah.
muscle lifting.
Yeah.
You know?
But doesn't
And
suck
trying
as
to
much.
control your
Yeah.
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 Well, that's it, because you don't want to have
Yes.
your concentration face
Yeah.
on if you're performing, right? Like, yeah. So what sort of exercise do you do to supplement pole?
I'm lazy. I just do pole.
You just do pole?
Same.
Yeah, well, by the sounds of it, you're the exception to the
But you
rule.
go many times a week,
Walks
don't you?
everywhere as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. You walk everywhere. That's the exercise.
And he does cardio pole and flow
Yeah.
twice a week.
Yeah.
And poles 3 times a week.
it's like-
and he does cheer.
So it's like
And
polling.
stretch.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
You know,
So like you do pole to supplement your pole.
Yeah.
Amazing. What about you, Jim?
I run, I boulder, so climb. And over winter I also do go to the gym and do weights, but yeah, usually it's just pole or climbing. Yeah.
I play netball. I dance. I swim. I have 7 kids.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also do marching, so I compete nationally for that. So again, it's a lot of muscle control, a lot of cardio. And I don't really do weights as much. I do free body stuff because I find free body actually helps a lot more because you're lifting your body weight, right? I used to do a lot of weights, and then I got to the point where I'm like, it's really not benefiting me anymore. I don't want big muscles.
Yeah.
You know, like I like showing off that I can do chin-ups.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody's like, let's do chin-ups, I'll smoke you.
Yeah.
Because pole pull-ups are one-sided.
Yeah.
So in regular chin-ups, when you get to use both lats equally,
Yeah.
are so much easier.
like a treat.
Yeah. So like, let's go, you know.
Wow.
So just kind of those things. Competition keeps me going.
Yeah.
And I've got to stay on top of these guys. So I have to keep pushing myself whilst dealing with the injuries.
Yeah. What about you, Jonica?
I don't run unless I'm being chased.
Well, that's smart. That's my philosophy too. Yeah.
It probably does hinder my progress somewhat.
You play netball.
I played it for one term.
And now you teach on that day, so you can't.
Yeah, that's not on.
Strategic.
Don't call me out.
Actually, that was my doing. So.
Yeah, no, I've done lots of different stuff over the years, but
Yeah.
yeah, at the moment I'm just Polaroski.
I'm chasing that little dude.
Yeah, and chasing a 2-year-old round.
The Kiwi munchkin in the corner.
Yeah.
Munching his way.
Yeah, hopefully not crunching too much into it. Might be an ASMR podcast soon.
Yeah. Cool. All right. One final question, which might be the easiest or the hardest question. In one sentence, what's your favourite thing about pole?
I think the community.
Yeah.
100% the community. Short answer. Long answer is there are times I will go to the studio not to pole, but just to sit there and be with the people there because I'm in such a low and I'm just like, I just need to be somewhere where I feel safe.
Therapy session.
Yeah.
And I've also learned so much about how the body works from these conversations we have in class.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think my sentence would be like the safe space that pole creates. Just to be, I mean, you have to use a lot of skin, so your body's out a lot. The confidence, the safety, everyone's there for a common goal, but it still feels safe. Like some fitness environments, to me, don't feel safe. But
And after a week off,
pole
I miss
feels
the
safe.
girls.
Yeah.
Mine's the community, but more so I love the sense of help I'm giving people. Keeping the studio open and knowing that it's a safe place for so many people, a place where they can relax, unwind, debrief, be free, fix themselves, walk away unbroken. Yeah, agreed. I've been through losses with people. I've been through gains with people. I've been through breakups with people. I've been through moving across from the other side of the world and, you know, fixing everything, completely redefining themselves. I've been through it all, and the messages you get of appreciation and love and thankfulness, it's incomparable to anything. That for me is what's kept me in pole and wanted to keep this space alive so much, because it's humbling. What I deal with in life and what I see with, like, in my job, it's heartbreaking. And to know that I can create a space for people that need more is what drives me. Yeah. Soppy as hell, but
No, that's beautiful,
that's good.
and a beautiful note to end on. So there you go. If you want to learn pole, and you want to learn pole in all bias aside, but a really fun and safe space, then pole with Val. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. This was awesome.
Thank you.
thanks.
The Rainbow Umbrella theme song is by Paul S. Allen and Beth. Check them out on Spotify. New episodes of The Rainbow Umbrella are available every fourth Thursday on Otago Access Radio, 105.4 FM, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to get your podcasts. Do you have an idea for an episode or something you would like to kōrero about? Get in touch at rainbowumbrellapod@gmail.com.